driver's education test versus the theories test in the UK. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I'm in the United States. I'm in the Midwest. I've been teaching over 23 years for driver's education. We're going to talk about those elements. We're going to see what you need to do, and I want to help you pass. In the United States, each state has its own regulations. For instance, in my location, we have 6 hours of driving, 4 hours of observation. You take an 80-question knowledge test. You have to show competence. You have to take an eye exam and a physical health test. If you meet those requirements, you'll have what is called a graduated license. Someone 21 or over needs to be training with you, typically a family member, but from what I'm finding, a lot of my students tell me they don't have that family support, so it falls back on us as instructors, third-party testers. In the UK, it could vary. You still have to have a family member to help you excel. In the UK, driver's education is regulated by the Drivers and Vehicle Standards Association, DVSA. There are also many driving schools in the UK, just like in the United States, offering various packages to learners. For instance, I may work with an adult that might need 10 lessons. We set a base price. We work on maneuverability. We work on parallel parking. We work on merging on the expressway. We work on defensive driving strategies. We work on passing the driving test. Everyone is a little bit different. I make custom driving portfolios through video, through one-on-one, through Zoom. You have to find what works best for you. If you're not sure, reach out to me. Also in the UK, the pass-fail rates of driving tests are published by the DVSA on a regular basis, and this information is publicly available. I definitely like that. I think that's the step that the United States needs to go with. At the state level, the pass rate rail is about 15 to 20%, typically because beginners, adults, teens, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70-year-olds don't practice. Next, there are numerous driving schools across the country, ranging from large chains to independently owned businesses. I've worked for some of the biggest driver's education schools in the region and perhaps in the country. I've also have experience in some of the smaller, less than 1,000 students a year driving schools. It really depends on what you want. If you want one-on-one instruction, I would say go to a smaller school where someone is there to support you, talk to you, and encourage you. Good instructors don't yell, they don't scream. They really want you to live your best life. And you want to make sure that you have a strong relationship with your instructor, because they're going to prepare you for driving. They're going to prepare you for going out and driving a vehicle that could end up getting you to the next level for a job. Next, some states publish statistics on rates, and as an instructor, I see information. I subscribe to publications because I'm a professional. Good instructors subscribe to 3 to 10 publications. I subscribe to about 14 publications, where when I go live, I read statistical information from the National Highway Safety Transportation, AAA. These are scholarly sources that are peer-reviewed. You may see a lot of people on the internet just talking about hand over hand, but they don't give you a scholarly source. When you use a scholarly source that is peer-reviewed, such as the National Safety Highway Transportation, they give you statistical information, such as AAA. They suggest you hold the steering wheel at a 7 and 5, which is more comfortable. We want to be very careful when someone is versing and talking about scholarly information. Next, in the UK, the driving schools offer different levels of instruction, just like in the United States. People contact me all the time via social media. How much do you charge? I need help. I have anxiety. My instructor did not teach me. My instructor failed me. There are a lot of instructors out there who are just doing the minimum. The one thing I want you to know when you take the time to watch me, I do not do the minimum. I go above and beyond. I give you scholarly resources. I give you in-car video. I give you outside parking video. I give you expressway video. I give you steering video. And then I give you a blog lifestyle of what instructors actually go through so you have a greater appreciation and you understand the cost of driver's education. Costs are going up. Insurance, gasoline, the vehicle itself, certifications. But when you have an instructor who has all those certifications, you can rest assured you're going to get a high quality lesson, and you can call him or her 24 hours a day to give you peace of mind. That is really important. Next, types of driving schools. In the U.S., driving schools vary by size, teaching methods, and specialization. I am certified to teach adults and teens. I'm not certified to teach a CDL Class 1 or CDL Class 2. If I wanted to obtain that certification, I would have to take a certification test, pass it, then I would get my practical lab experience teaching under a certified instructor in a CDL Class 1 semi-truck or CDL Class 2. That still could be an option for me, but most of my career has been with adults and teens. Some offer a comprehensive driver's education program for new drivers. I do that also. Others focus on specific areas such as defensive driving and commercial driving. I work on defensive driving and I work on teaching adults and teens. It really depends on what you want. Regulator bodies. I like this because we need to have a regulative body to monitor instructors, to monitor complaints, pass-fail rates. The state does pop in and do a on-site inspection. Are your tests in alphabetical order? Are your tests by month? Is your vehicle meeting the safety standards of the state and of the national standards? Do you have your instructors' licenses visible to the general public? So a lot of people you see on the internet, they don't show you their licenses. I wonder, are they certified? It really depends on the school. And once every 3 months, they pull a report for our license because I have to be a role model. If I get a ticket or I'm involved in an accident, I will lose my certification. Why would I do that? I'm not going to do that because I have to be a role model for all of you to become good drivers. These agencies establish standards for driving schools and instructors to ensure that students receive quality instruction. I'm about quality instruction. It takes time. By me going through these processes and steps, you're like, wow, I saw this guy on the internet. He was talking about this information. I'm going to go ahead and follow him. I'm going to go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to go ahead and ask some questions because I want to take a lesson. Driver's education programs. Many high schools in the United States offer driver's education programs as a course as part of their curriculum. I went through that process, and currently where I am, they are about 30 schools in the location, in the region that have in-school driver's education where you take it before school or after school. That's my next move. That's my next goal. Additionally, there are numerous private schools that offer standards driver's education programs for teens and adults. I've chose the latter. I've done public, I've done private, I've done huge #1 ranked driving schools in the region, and I've done small schools in the region. Again, it depends on what is comfortable for you. What do you want to learn? What is your price point? How fast or slow do you want to get your lesson? Graduated license or GDL. We have this here in the United States. Why? Teens are the most vulnerable population. They have the most accidents. Let's talk about the graduated license. You have questions, go ahead and put those in. Most states in the U.S. have graduated licenses or GDL. Programs in which require new drivers to go through multiple staging licensing process. I'm your guy. We go from level 1, level 2, level 3, and then ultimately ready for your theories test in the car or road test prep. I do both, which requires new drivers to go through multi-stage GDL programs, typically including requirements such as completing a driver's education course. I teach the course. It's 6 weeks long. It depends with the driving. The class is actually 3 weeks, but with driving and the class, I have to have clients done in 6 weeks. It is a time-sensitive industry. And yes, some students don't make that time frame, and they have to repeat class. Don't be that client to repeat class. It's a commitment, and a lot of teens and adults are not ready to make that commitment. What does this mean? You're baseball, you're football, you're dancing, you have a really busy lifestyle. I tell my clients up front, this is a commitment, and some clients don't make it. Why? They're not willing to commit the time to driver's education. This is serious. Driving does not make you an adult. I want you to know this. Holding a learner's permit for a certain period of time and completing a minimum number of supervised driving hours. My clients tell me, my mom doesn't have the time to drive me. My dad doesn't have time. My stepmom doesn't care. I hear these stories and it makes me really sad. This is true. So I try to help support my clients. And if you are struggling with this problem, reach out and let me know. Next, driving test procedures. The driving test in UK consists of practical examinations, just like here in the United States, that assess the candidate's ability to drive safe. We do the same thing in various traffic conditions. Downtown Detroit, downtown Chicago, downtown Houston, Texas, downtown Los Angeles, California, downtown Belo Horizonte in Brazil. I have a client there right now. These tests include maneuvers such as parallel parking, reversing around a corner, and independent driving. I have a lot of content on independent driving. You definitely need to absorb it and look through my whole portfolio of driving. Driving instructor training. Just like in the UK, I go through driver instructor training every 2 years. Let's talk about this for a second. In the UK, driving instructors must undergo rigorous training and testing to become an approved DVSA instructor. The same thing in the United States. We go through a rigorous testing situation. I have to take an extensive physical. I have to take professional development classes. It's turned into the state. They examine it. I pass. And then now I'm certified for 2 more years. So those are some similarities. Driving instructor ADIs must pass 3 stages: the theory, the practical driving test, and the instructor ability test. Same thing. If you're not good at coaching people and teaching people how to drive, my clients tell me this: my mom screams at me. My dad screams at me. I can't drive with my parents. They make me lose my mind. I understand how you feel because the struggle is real. Passing rates. The DVSA publishes passing rates for driver's tests on a regular basis, providing statistics to the pass-fail rate of individual test carriers and categories and motorcycles, cars. These statistics are publicly available and can be accessed through the DVSA website or other government sources. We have something similar to that. Let's review. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. I'm here to help you learn how to drive, learn how to pass your tests. I do tutorials where I'm in class right now in the laboratory. I do in-car tutorials. We go over knowledge test questions, theory test questions. We can meet one-on-one through a Zoom or Google Meet. You need to be reaching out to me and deciding what is best for you. I enjoyed talking to you. I will go live later today about 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. We'll go into a deep dive then. Bye.